Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to learn how to make an hexagon shirt. So as the name suggests, an hexagon shirt, it means you're going to make a pattern that has 5 sides and then work on the pattern, keep growing it to form a shirt. So I just wanted to explain you this just before we start the tutorial. So like as we can see, we're going to start with 5 sides. So the 5 sides basically, and this 1, 2, these corners 3, 4 and 5. So these 5 corners is what gives us the hexagon shirt. So and that's where we're going to begin, and then work our way, just increasing the pattern until we form one side, and then make another part, another side, join the two together to form our shirt. So as you can hear my background today, I got the privilege to record this in the village. So I'm in the countryside, came here to for my grandma's burial, and I'm gonna be here for a few weeks. So I thought it better to do a tutorial. It's fun to be recording out here. I'm grateful to be doing this here. Anyways, without further ado, let's just kind of dive into the tutorial. Okay, so these are the ones you need for the tutorial. So I'm going to be, for this project, I will be using robin yarn, which is 100% acrylic. And because I want the shirt to be a little lightweight, I'm going to just use a single strand. I want to double my strand. So I'll do this in color red and color black. Of course, whatever you want to choose for the colors you choose for this project, that's up to you. But for this one, red and black will do for me. And then I'm going to be using a 3mm hook, and you definitely need this. You need a pair of scissors and your measuring tape. You also need darning needle, but for now I don't have one to show you. But of course you need darning needle for when we're going to be joining our work. So I guess that's all we need for the material. So let's just dive into the tutorial. Okay, so start your project by making a magic circle. I don't know how you guys make your magic circle. This is how I make mine. So then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. So after making the first this first 3 double crochet is going to count as the first double crochet, and then in the very same space, magic circle, make another 2 double crochets. So this 3 count as the first cluster of 3 double crochets, and then chain 1, and in the very same space make another cluster of 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. And then chain 1, and in the very same space make another total of 3 double crochets, cluster of 3 double crochets. So remember, we are working an hexagon, so that means you're going to need 5 sides. So far we have this 3 double crochets, the chain 1 space, the first chain 1 space, that's 1, the second chain 1 space, that's 2. So it means we need an additional of another 3. So we're going to keep on working on this. So after this chain 3 cluster, chain 1, and in the very same space make another cluster of 3 double crochets. Chain 1 and another cluster of 3 double crochets. So you have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters of 3 double crochets. So you just chain 1 and you're going to on top of the chain 3 that you started with, you're going to slip stitch here like this, and after that you're just going to like pull your yarn, your magic ring, so it can come together. Pull it like that, and that will be the end of your first row. So if you count, you'll just notice we have how many clusters? 1 2 3 4 5 clusters of 3 double crochets separated by chain 1. So these 5 spaces are going to be the 5 corners that we are going to be working on. That's going to give us the hexagon, the 5 sides. So that's the end of first row. So in order to start the second row, just slip stitch in the next double crochet, slip stitch in the next double crochet until you get into the first chain 1 space. And when you get right here, now the next step is we are going to add the length of the shirt. This point here indicates, or is going to be the point just below your armpit, going down the length of your shirt. So let me just explain that with what we have. Okay, so what I mean is this point here is going to be from here. You can see this is the sleeve. So it's going to be from this point here going downwards. I mean the length of your shirt, right? So this is where we're going to be adding the length of our shirt. So for this shirt that I'm making right now, I wanted it to be a little bit longer than usual, maybe a bit longer. So I wanted a length of 21 inches. But depending on what you have, probably you want this cropped. I don't know what your choice is, but this is where you're going to add the height of the shirt that you want from the armpit area. So in my case, I made a total of 21 inches. I wanted a longer shirt, so that is going to be, for me, that measures to 21 inches. And in order to get 21 inches, I'm going to chain 90 chains. So make sure that your chains are a multiple of 3 for you to have an easy time working with this. So from here, let's make a chain of 90. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Yeah, so this is a total of 90 chains, the height that I need. So let me hope you have made yours as well. So let's proceed from here. So after making 90 chains, add a total of 2 more chains, and now 2 more plus the 90th chains, that makes counts as the first double crochet. So go inside the next double crochet and make a double crochet and another double crochet. That is a total of 3 double crochets. So after that, that's the first cluster. Now yarn over and skip 2 chains, and in the third chain make another cluster of 3 double crochets. 1 2 and 3. Yarn over, skip 2. In the third, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. Yarn over, skip 2. In the third, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. yarn over, skip 2, in the third make another cluster of 3 double crochets. As you can see, this is how our work looks like. So this is what you're going to proceed with. Yarn over, you skip 2 chains, 2 stitches, and then in the third stitch you make a cluster of 3 double crochets like that. So proceed with that all the way until you get here. Let me meet you when you get, at least you're left with 2 chains. Let me meet you when you get there. Okay, so this is after going all the way. You'll find out you'll be left with 2 chains at the end here. So after that, just skip the 2 chains and go inside the first chain 1 space and make 3 double crochets in that chain 1 space. After that, yarn over and move into the next chain 1 space and make 3 double crochets. So this is the first chain 1 space, so chain 1 and in the very same space make another 3 double crochets. So now we're making the corners at each of this next chain 1 spaces. So inside the next chain 1 space, yarn over and make a corner. So how do you make a corner? You make 3 double crochets, cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and another 3 double crochets in the very same chain 1 space like that. In the next chain 1 space, yarn over in the next chain 1 space, make another 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets in the very same space. Yarn over in the next chain 1 space, make 3 double crochets, chain 1 and in the very same space make another 3 double crochets. So when you get to this other side, remember when we come in this side, we only made 3 double crochets in this first chain 1 space. We did not make a shell here. We did not make a corner here. So when we are back now inside it, and all we need to do is make another 3 double crochets in this space. Like that. So that is going to give us an opportunity to work on this other side, back on the other side. So after that, you're going to skip 2 chains and inside, like the very opposite where you made this 3 clusters, right here, you're going to make another cluster of 3 double crochets. So what you have so far, and then yarn over and in the next skip 2 chains and in the next space where you just opposite the other 3 clusters, you make another 3 clusters, yarn over and in the next one make another 3 clusters, skipping 2 chain stitches. skip 2. In the third one, make another cluster, 3 double crochets. So this is going to be the pattern, and you're going to repeat the same thing all the way to the end of your work. Let me meet you when you get right at the end, so we can move on to the next step. Okay, so I am at the last point. Just yarn over in the very last space. You make a cluster of 3 double crochets, and that marks the end of that. So far, this is what you have. Okay, so for the next row, since you have ended this with 3 double crochets, from here we're going to be doing something different at the edge every time. So you want to be careful, and you want to be attentive and know what you're going to be doing, because you're going to be repeating that. So since we finished this with 3 double crochets, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and turn your work. So you're going to yarn over and go into the next space here with 3 double crochets. This is what you have. You note the difference, so let's keep on working. And then yarn over, and in the next chain, in the next space, make 3 double crochets, cluster of 3 double crochets. Yarn over, in the next space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. Yarn over, in the next space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. So work on this all the way. Let me meet you when you get to like this point, yeah, so we can go on. So just make sure in every space you make a cluster of 3 double crochet. Okay, so once you get here, you can see this. The next space, just make 3 double crochets. So normally it always feels like this last corner normally gets like overshadowed, because it's the one that like it gets lost at some point, because it's the one that connects us to the part where we are adding the height of the shirt. So after that, in the next space here, make another 3 double crochets. So when you get to the first corner, which is this one, as you can tell, it's a corner because it's 3 double crochet separated by a chain 1. Inside this corner now you're going to make another corner. So what you do, you make 3 double crochets, 3 clusters, chain 1 and another cluster of 3 double crochets in the very same chain 1 space. And then in the next space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. In the next the next part is the corner, so we are making a corner at this point. A corner is a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and another 3 double crochets in the very same space. Like that. In the next space, which is here, you make 3 double crochets. It's not a corner, so we only place a corner where there is a corner, and as you can tell, we have 4 corners left currently. 1, 2, the third one and the fourth. So where we don't have a corner, we don't add a corner. So here we have a corner. So at this corner I'm gonna have a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and another 3 double crochets in the very same space, like that, and then yarn over, and in the next space it's not a corner, so we're gonna have a cluster, only a cluster of 3 double crochets without anything else. That's done. In the next it's a corner, so we're gonna make a corner, which is a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and another cluster of 3 double crochets in the very same space. Here we go. So in the next space, which is not a corner, we just make 3 double crochets like that, and then we proceed to the other side. And in each of these spaces you place 3 double crochets. So keep on working 3 double crochets in each of these spaces all the way. Let me meet you when you get to the last space so I can show you what you're going to do, how we're finishing the row, because it's a little bit different from the last one. Yeah. So this is after I had made, the last double crochet in the very last space. So in order to complete this row, we are going to complete by yarn over, and on top of the very last double crochet, this one, make a double crochet. So as you can see, this row has ended with just one double crochet, and this previous ones ended with the cluster of 3 double crochets. So that's somehow how the pattern is going to be. So if you end, like right now we've ended with 1 double crochet, the next one is going to be different, and let's see how that's going to be. So chain after here, chain 3, because this marks the end of the row. Chain 3, turn your work. So inside this very fine space, this is now the first, this chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. So in this very same space you're going to add additional 2 double crochets. So that's 1 and the next one. So this is going to give us the first cluster, and yarn over and go inside the next space immediately, like that. As you can see, we are back to our pattern. So in the next space, make 3 double crochets. In the next space, 3 double crochets. In the next space, another 3 double crochets. And in the next space, another 3 double crochets. So you're just going to repeat this, add a cluster of 3 double crochets all the way. Let me meet you at this point. Yeah. So once you get here, it's the same thing. So the first one space is not a shell, it's not a corner, so we just have three clusters of double crochets, and in the next space is also not a corner, so we're going to have another cluster of 3 double crochets. So in the next space it's a corner, so in our corner we have a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1, and in the very same space another cluster of 3 double crochets, like that. In the next space, not a corner, so we have 3 cluster of 3 double crochets, and in the next one also not a corner, so we have a cluster of 3 double crochets. In the next one, it happens to be a corner, so we're gonna have a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1, and another cluster of 3 double crochets in the very same space, like that. The next one, space, we only have 3 double crochets in here since it's not a corner, and also the next one, 3 double crochets in the very same space. When you get to the corner, you know what you do, you make a corner, so another corner, another one on top, so that's 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets in the very same space. There we go. In the next space, 3 double crochets, in the next space 3 double crochets, and in this next space also another 3 double crochets, chain 1, since it's a corner, another 3 double crochets in the very same space. And next one, you're now working on the other side, make 3 double crochets, the next space 3 double crochets, in the next space 3 double crochets, in the next space 3 double crochets, yeah. So it's like you're back on this other side. So what you do, you're gonna keep up the pattern, 3 double crochets in each space all the way across. Let me meet you when you get here so I can show you how we end the row at this point. Okay, so this is after making the last cluster. So in the next space, it's the here. Remember we ended the last row with only 1 double crochet at the end. So go inside this space with the 2 double crochets first, inside this space, and then the last double crochet, make it on top of the chain 3 right here, like this, and that will be mark the end of this row. So basically that's the pattern that we are going to be ending here. So we started by ending by a cluster of 3 double crochet. The next one we ended with 1 double crochet, and the next row we ended with a cluster of 3 double crochet. So the next one we're going to start by on 3 and then turn your work, and you go inside this chain space, yeah, with 3 double crochets. Yeah, like that. And then you proceed. The pattern is just a repetition of what we've been doing, making the shells where the shells should be, working the corners where the corners should be, and making a cluster of 3 double crochets in each of the other spaces around. So basically this point is what is going to give you the sleeve, and you want to keep repeating this until it has given you the the height of the sleeve that you want. I highly recommend 5 inches, but for this project I made a total of 6 inches. So from here, right here, is going to be the measurement of the sleeve. So you want to keep repeating this until you have around 5 inches for your sleeve, or the how you want your sleeve to be, how long you want your sleeve to be. Keep repeating that. So like from where we left, if I count the total of this is around 11 rows, and then I added 2 rows of black, and now that's 13 rows, another 2 rows of red here, and that is 15 rows plus additional 2 rows of black. So there's a total of 17 rows that I made. Let's just do a little bit of measurements. So the sleeve measurement for up to here, it's 6 inches, exactly like I wanted it to. You probably have 5 inches, whatever you have. So yeah, so we're going to proceed to the next step, and I'm just going to show you the next step before we actually get into it. So as you can see on this other side, the other work, this is where we're ending. So like the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be working here. So it means the next step is going to be we're going to be working from down here, from down here all the way, and then we're going to only be working up to this point, the black point here. So we are not going to continue the other side. We'll end here, and that's what we're going to do on the next step from here. So just attach your yarn where you left off. Yeah. So after that, since you can see the last previous row ended in the cluster of 3 double crochets, that means the next row is going to begin with 1 double crochet. So it means chain 3. These 3 counts as the first double crochet, and then once you do that, you go inside the next part here with a cluster of 3 double crochets in here, yarn over and go inside the next space with a cluster of 3 double crochets, yarn over and go inside the next space with a cluster of 3 double crochets, yarn over and go inside the next space with a cluster of 3 double crochets. Okay, so just keep repeating this at least all the way until you get to this first corner. Let me meet you when you get to the first corner so we can move on to the other side. Yeah. Okay, so once you get to this first corner, you make a corner, so that is a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and another cluster of 3 double crochets in the very same space. Like that. So we are going to continue this row will end here in the next corner. So it means you're going to make clusters of 3 double crochets in each space all the way to this last place. So this is where we're going to be ending our work. We're not going to continue to the other side going henceforth, So yeah, continue with that until you get to this next corner. So just place a cluster of 3 double crochets in each space. this is how you're going to end this corner. You just end it by yarn over and make a double crochet inside the corner, and that marks the end. That's where we're going to be ending our work. So after that, chain 3 and turn your work. So we're going back. So since we ended with 1 double crochet, it means in this new row you start by adding 2 double crochets in this space. Now that marks a total of 3, and then continue with placing a cluster of 3 double crochets in each of these spaces until you get to the corner. It's like you're working your way back. So when you get to this corner, you make a corner right here. That's a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1, and another 3 double crochets in the very same space. And then now you continue placing cluster of 3 double crochets in each of this all the way back until you get to your last point. I'm gonna meet you when you get there. Okay, so when you get to the end, since you completed the previous row was completed in 1 double crochet, you're going to add 2 double crochets inside the space, and then the last one on top of the chain 3 that acts as the double crochet. So that is complete. So basically that is what you are going to keep on repeating in relation to your measurements. So you want to make sure that this distance from here to where you're going to end your work after adding the rows that you're supposed to add is going to be a quarter of your bust measurement. So in my case, my bust measurement is 34 inches, right? So 34 divided by 4, that gives me 8.5 inches. So 8.5 inches should be the measurement from this point to where I'm going to the rows you're going to add. And then when you add that to and then this other side is also going to be the same from here, the middle point to that is going to be 8.5. And so this half of this should be half of your bust measurement, and the other half that you're going to make also half of your bust measurement. So when you join them together, they're going to give us a full bust measurement. I hope that is understandable. Find out how many, you add more rows until you have a quarter of your bust measurement. To me, that's going to be 8 rows like this, and then do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to meet you when you have something exactly like this. Okay, so this is after I've added the 8 rows both on the side, and so I did the same thing on the back. So this is what I have. So after you've gotten this, you're going to like make another panel, exactly the same instructions. You can always rewind the video and follow the instructions and make something identical to this one. So in my case, I've made the 2. So I have the 2 panels here with me. And so we're going on to the last parts of our work. So on the next part, we are going to be joining these upper sides, the upper part, so we can have the sleeve and the shoulder. So you can always join by sewing or by using single crochets or slip stitches, whatever method you're going to use to join. Choose a method that is appropriate for you. Choose a side that you want to be your right side and the wrong side. Okay, so in this next double crochet and the one on the other side, make a single crochet, single crochet in this space, single crochet in this next one. I'm just gonna join using a row of single crochets in each double crochet. In the space, 1 single crochet, make sure you're joining on the wrong side, the side that you chose to be your wrong side, so that when you turn your work, you'll be on the right side of your work. So keep joining. I'm going to meet you when you are at the very tip here. Okay, so I went all the way. I'm joined all the way across. So now you just chain 1 and cut your yarn from here. So you're going to do the same thing on the other panel, if so. After you finish with that, you're going to identify, you'll choose between this side and this other side. You're going to choose the side that is going to be your front and the side that is going to be your back. This is going to be my front work, and this is going to be the back of my work. I'm going to start my work from this other side. So this is the back side that I've chosen to be the back side. So attach your yarn at the back of your work. I'm choosing to start working from this end. You can always choose to work from this upper end where you last joined, but I'm choosing to work on this end because I'm looking at how I've been making my double crochets, and the last one I made on this side, it's on the wrong side, so I need to work on this side. Yeah, so that's why I'm beginning from this part. So here, chain 3, and this 3 counts as the first double crochet, counts as a stitch. So in the next chain space, make a cluster of 3 double crochets. Yarn over in the next chain space, make another cluster of another 3 double crochets. Yarn over in the next, make a cluster of another 3 double crochets. Yarn over in the next, make a cluster of 3 double crochets. So keep on working on this until you get to this end here. This is where you joined your shoulders and the sleeves. Let me meet you when you get there. Okay, so when you get to this point, you're just going to place 1 double crochet on top of, inside this space, or on top of where you're joining here, like that. To end the row, and once that is done, so we're going to be working back. So chain 3 and turn. So inside this space, make another additional 2 double crochets. The first chain 3 was counting as the first double crochet. then inside the next chain space, make a cluster of 3 double crochets. And then inside the next chain space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. Inside the next chain space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. So this is what you're going to keep on with all the way to this other side till here. And this is going to be you've added 2 rows, so you're going to add another additional of other 4 rows after that. So in total at the back you're going to add a total of 6 rows. So do that, and I'm gonna meet you when you have 6 rows. Okay, so I went ahead and added 6 rows. The first 2 were with red, and then I added additional of 4 more rows here at the back. So I wanted to explain that this is where you get the opportunity to determine the size of the shirt that you want. Like if you want it baggy, you can add more rows, probably 8 rows or 10 rows. But the additional 6 rows is just to make the shirt not so fitting, just a perfect size, because remember we had achieved our measurement by the last rows that we did before we added the 6 rows at the back. So I just wanted to make that clear. After doing this, pick up your other piece and do the same exact thing on it. So do that, and let me have you when you have the 2 pieces ready. So the next thing is going to be joining these 2 panels together at the back. So this is where we're going to join them, right here. This is where we're going to join. So we're going to start from here and just join all the way to the bottom. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and joined my work. And after joining, I started working on the front piece right here. The problem is I use the black yarn, and so it's always a bit difficult to do a recording in a black yarn, but I hope you can see what I'm talking about. So after joining here, I added this 6 more rows here with the reduction starting as you can see, I left some part here. So this is the part that we're going to add the collar. So I reduced and then ended the row with a plain row of double crochets. So this is where I'm going to add my buttons. So I'm going to show you what to do, and then I actually turned my work after doing that, so make sure you do that. So I'm going to do the same reduction, this reduction on the other side, and that's how I'm going to show you. And then you will do that on both sides, and we'll add the corner, and that is going to mark the end of the work. So let's just get into that. Okay, so this is the side that I've already worked on. As you can see, the reduction part where I did. So I'm going to show you how to do the reduction on the other side. And then after I've shown you how to do the reduction on the other side, you are going to do the reduction on both sides, and the side that you're choosing to place buttons on, you will end it in a row of double crochets, as you can see. So this is the side that I chose for that, and the side that you're going to, the other side is just going to remain like that, with the last row still being a row of clusters of 3 double crochets. So the part that you're going to add the buttons is the only side that is going to remain, that you're going to place a row of double crochets. So let's just dive into how we're going to do the reduction. So to do a reduction, since my last row was on the right side, I'm going to need to work on the wrong side. You're going to skip from the top. Yeah, this is the top. You're going to skip a total of 3 clusters of double crochet. So this counts as the first one, the one at the corner, 1, 2 and 3. So it means I'm going to start my work from here after skipping 3 clusters of double crochet. Oh, I'm going to use black yarn for this, so please just bear with me. Bear with me. The black yarn is really hard to see when you're doing a recording, but bear with me and listen, so you can keep with that. But I hope that doesn't get in the way of you understanding the tutorial. So this is where I'm going to attach. You're going to attach your yarn. So after skipping 3 clusters, 1 2 3 from the top, that is chain 3. So the 3 counts as the first double crochet, and go inside the next chain space with a cluster of 3, the cluster of 3 double crochets, and go inside the next chain space with another cluster of 3 double crochets. So the next one, another set of 3 double crochets, cluster 3 double crochets. So I'm going to do this all the way across until I get to the last point, and then come back. And then when you come back, I'll show you how you're going to do the reduction here. When you get back to the last point that you had made double crochet, yarn over and place. Normally we would go in with another 3 clusters to complete it with the 3 clusters, but in this case, since you're doing a reduction, you're just going to go inside the double crochet with 1 double crochet like that. So that will be a reduction, and then chain 3, turn your work, and yarn over and go inside the first chain space with a double crochet. Place an additional 2 double crochet in this space after the 1 double crochet, and then proceed with adding a cluster of 3 double crochet in each space all the way down to the other side, and then come back up. Yeah, so do that, and I'm gonna meet you when you're back up so I can show you how we can keep up with the reduction. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back. So after the last one, the last chain space before the double crochet, only get to, and then after placing the cluster inside the double crochet, make another double crochet like that, and that's how you're going to end. Chain 3, turn, and go inside the next chain space with a cluster of 3 double crochets. So this is how you're going to be reducing your work. As you can see, there's a reduction for 6 rows. So far we have made 4 rows. So I'm going to go back down and back up, and that will be the end of the row. Since it's the row that won't have the buttons, it's just going to be left with the clusters of 3 double crochets, and on the on the side that you're going to place the buttons, you're going to finish with a row of double crochets all the way across. So that's the difference. So I'm gonna keep working on this, and let me meet you when you have all the 6 done, so we can have, remember this number, the 6 is the same number as the ones that you added at the back. So if you added 8, you make sure that when you're working at the front, you also add 8 rows. Yeah. So let me meet you when you have completed this, so we can go on to making the collar. Okay, so let's work on the collar. Attach your yarn at this first space here. And then chain 3, and in the very same space add another 2 double crochets. In the next, then yarn over, and in the next space make another 3 double crochets. So this is the sides, still working on the sides. In the next double crochet space, you realize that the sides have the places where we were reducing. Each double crochet space gets a cluster of 3 double crochets, and in the next double crochet space also receives a cluster of 3 double crochets. The next space, double crochet space, gets another 3 double crochets. Like that. And now we are inside the last double crochet space where we started our reduction, and that too gets a cluster of 3 double crochets. And now we're on this part that we skipped, remember, yeah. So in each of this yarn over, and in the next chain space make 3 double crochets. Yarn over, and in the next chain space make another 3 double crochets. Yarn over, and in the next chain space make another 3 double crochets. In the next chain space make another 3 double crochets. So that is the last corner here. So now we are on the back. So inside this first chain double crochet space, you're going to make 3 double crochets. Inside the next chain 3 space, you make 3 double crochets. Yarn over, skip the next chain 3, skip the next cluster of 3 double crochets, and in the next double crochet space you make 3 double crochets. Yarn over, skip the next cluster of 3 double crochets, and at this point where you connected the 2 pieces, make 3 double crochet at this point. Yarn over, skip the next cluster of 3 double crochets. In the next 1 double crochet space you make 3 double crochets inside. Skip the next cluster, and in the next double crochet space you make 3 double crochets in there. And now you are keep the pattern, skip the next chain 3 cluster of chain 3, and in the next double crochet space you make 3 double crochets in that space. Yarn over, and in the next space, now we are back on the other side that we left unworked, you make 3 double crochets. Yarn over, in this space make 3 double crochets. Yarn over, in the next space make 3 double crochets. Yarn over, in the next space make 3 double crochets. Yarn over, in the next space make 3 double crochets. So this was the part that we left unworked. So now we're in the part where we did our reduction, and we're going to keep on inside this first double crochet space you make 3 double crochets. Yarn over, in the next double crochet space make another 3 double crochets. In the next double crochet space make another 3 double crochets. In the next double crochet space, make another 3 double crochets. Yarn over. In the next double crochet space, make another 3 double crochets in here. And now you're at the last point, the last row that you had, just a row of double crochets. And inside the double crochet space, make another 3 double crochets. So you're going to the next row is going to be simpler now, because you now have a full row to work on. So you're just going to repeat. So chain 3, turn your work, and in the next space, make a cluster of 3 double crochets. In the next space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. In the next space here, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. Yarn over. In the next space, make another cluster of 3 double crochet. Yarn over. In the next space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. Yarn over. In the next space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. Yarn over. In the next space, make another cluster of 3 double crochets. So this is what you keep repeating all the way across to where you started off, and you're going to do this for a total of 8 rows. Wherever, do a color change where necessary, where you need to or where you want to. And yeah, let me meet you after you have a total of 8 rows, so I can show you the last thing to do before we end the tutorial. Okay, so this is after I've made 8 rows. The last row I did with just a row of double crochets. That's your preference. You can do that, or you can just complete that with a row of clusters. Yeah, so this is how your work looks like, and it's very beautiful. So if you want to have a clean finish, maybe on your sleeves, you can finish your sleeves with also a row of double crochets. And the same goes to this place down here. You can also finish that with a row of double crochets or clusters, anyone that you choose for your work. Yes, so and that marks the end of the tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope you find this valuable. Help me grow this channel by sharing this video and liking. Drop a comment or feedback if you have one. I just recently got to 1,000 subscribers, and help me get to 2,000 subscribers then. So by liking, commenting, and sharing the video. Thank you for being a part of this family. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.